Alright. I don't know what game's going to be in the background of this, but, this is take one of Storytime with Dial. So, we're going to rewind all the way back. I'm going to lower. I'm going to stop moving around in my chair so you don't hear the squeaking. We're going all the way back to when I was in middle school. So, imagine little middle school Dial, his big robot head compared to his small body. I wasn't, too, eh. I wasn't a very smart or self-aware kid at the time. I'm actually autistic, which means early life was a bit of a struggle for me. But as I grew, I got better at it. Well, back in middle school, I had an aide because I needed one. And I had a special place that they told me to go to. It was called the bathroom. The school told me whenever I was getting upset to go to the bathroom to calm down, which I did. I explicitly remember I would always go to the handicap stall. And I went to the handicap stall because, honestly, I was a fat kid. Handicap stall is big, spacious, good. And the aide went in there with me because, he wanted to make sure I was okay. This woman who was there, not even for me, she was just there for the school board or something. I still to this day don't remember or know. I was 12 at the time and I'm 23 now, so I'm not gonna remember. I was, still upset. And I remember this woman, for a solid 5 minutes saying, "Come out of the stall, come out of the stall, come out of the stall." And I was 12 at the time. I still had not had a good grasp of my emotions or how to calm myself down effectively, so I was still upset, especially since she's been annoying me for the past 5 minutes straight. So, I say, fine, I'm coming out. I shout it as loud as I can because I'm angry. I unlock the stall door. That's supposed to be the stall door. I'm really just hitting my pen to the desk, but you know what I'm trying to do. It makes a loud clack. It doesn't even make that sound. You know what? I'm not going to try to do it anymore. And I'm not going to go try to find a sound effect either. And real quick, I'm going to explain to everyone who is not yet acquainted with a handicap stall door. So handicap stalls are big and spacious because they're meant to have wheelchairs in them. It's not for fat people. It's for people who use wheelchairs or crutches. So the stall doors open outwards because if they opened inwards, then you couldn't close them once you got the wheelchair or crutches in. So they open outwards. It's a novel concept, I know. A door opening outwards is just out of this world for most people, but just stay with me. This woman decided to stand about half a foot from the stall door. I don't know if that's exactly how far away she was, but it was close enough that when I shoved the door open, it hit her and knocked her to the floor. I said, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I was concerned about her. I was suddenly just not angry anymore because someone was hurt, or seemingly hurt. I was 12. To me, getting knocked over was effectively the same as dying. And she said, "Don't touch me." Well, I just fucking back away because I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? And the rest of it goes a bit like this. I'm taken to the principal's office. My parents are called in. And a police officer comes in. They tell me that the woman is pressing charges against me for assault and battery. I didn't understand what was happening at the time. And I left that school in handcuffs. I went to the juvenile hall or whatever. I don't really know what the facility I went to was. I just know it was one for kids. To this day, I remember the fucking hot dogs were amazing. I want those hot dogs again, and I honestly, if anyone can figure out a way for me to know where they get their hot dogs, just tell me. Just leave it in the comments below, please. I want their hot dogs. I've been looking for these hot dogs for 11 goddamn years and I can't find them. Anyways, so I spend the night in juvie. And from this point, we're going to secondhand knowledge. I was not firsthand to any of this knowledge. This was told to me by my parents years later. So, originally, this was going to go to court like 2 days later, and I was going to have to stay in juvie the entire time. Or something like that. I don't know how long, but I do remember I was supposed to stay in there for 2 days originally. And then the judge heard about what happened. And she was upset by this because she heard the full story. And she dropped all the charges and wrote down everyone's name involved. We're going to back it up, though, real quick. The police officer was actually pretty cool. He gave my mom his business card and, like, told her he would help in any way he could. And that's something that I just remember very vividly. He was a cool guy. But, the judge also cleared the charges from my file. Like, they're not just sealed, they're, like, erased. They're expunged and everything. As a matter of fact, the judge said that several laws were probably broken in that process. Or at least a handful. This is all secondhand knowledge. Remember. You guys are hearing a probably very elaborate game of telephone here. But this never saw court, even. I don't know if this is actually said, but I remember at some point being told the judge said, and I quote, "I came back early from vacation for this, and this is what you bring to me." But my mom had words with that woman later, basically telling her, never interact with my kid ever again. And the woman tried to say, but I have a degree in this, and my mom immediately retorted back, I don't care what degree you have. You handled that situation poorly. And you tried to interfere with a child who was not under your care. You were not needed in that situation, nor were you wanted. The fact that you interfered with a child who is in an emotionally unstable situation proves that you are not very well experienced in this. Because, honestly, when a kid, especially one that's, like, autistic, is going through just a very bad situation, like they're upset, you don't want, if they're safe in a safe space, then there's no need to bother them. Leave them alone. Oh, sorry, that was gas. I wasn't about to cry. This whole story, it's not that emotional for me. Anyways, leaving them alone and let them calm down. That is honestly the best advice I could give anyone who has a child who's going through a lot of, like, difficult emotions. because being in like an emotional state that vulnerable and like unstable, if you go into it wrong, you can make things far worse. If they're not hurting themselves, nor do they have the ability to hurt themselves, which I was in a bathroom stall in 12. I don't have many ways to hurt myself. Like, the worst I can do is jump off the toilet onto my knees. Like, and I was angry, not suicidal. Like, come on. The reason I went into the bathroom is because I need to get all of the, like, different stimuli out so I can just calm down. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. And like that story, the moral of this story, because I found one over the last 11 years, is just because someone's in a position of authority, because she was on the school board, I believe, or something. Like she was like head over some special needs thing. I don't know. The moral of the story is just because someone has a position of authority does not mean that they're experienced enough. No, wait, I worded it wrong. Just because someone is in a position of authority does not mean that they know what they're doing. And this is something I learned at a very young age. I learned it before I even turned 18. Which, it made the world scarier for a few years, because I suddenly realized, oh shit, some idiot could ruin my life. But then, as time went on, I became more comfortable with this, because how I thought it was. That means I can make it anywhere. Doesn't mean I need to be good at anything. Yeah. So that was Storytime with Dial. Tune in next time for how I almost died. I'm still trying to think of which story to use for that one. There's 10. And if you liked this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you thought the gameplay was good, type good in the comments. If you thought it was shit, say, you suck at this game, delete it now in the comments below, and hit dislike 3 times on 3 separate accounts. Okay? Alright. Just really dislike bomb this video if you particularly hated how I acted. If you liked how I acted, and you approve of Bro Cop, hit the thumbs up. Haha. I don't know how to end this. I guess how I'll end it is by saying, dial it up a notch.